Welcome to today's episode. Today I will be building for you all builds that I totally haven't built yet because I was too lazy to record before I started building. That's not the reason I have this wall of bone behind me at all. That's a lie. You build everything. No, I haven't. But you have. Behind the wall are the builds you've made. Alright, that's enough of you. Okay, but no, the sheep was right. I have already built everything. I was just too excited to be building this episode because today I've done myself a challenge. Challenge to choose 4 YouTubers that I enjoy and to appreciate them more. So I chose 4 of them and used their Minecraft skins as the color palette. I'm very excited for this episode. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while, but I just can never get the replay mod to work. I still don't know how it works, so if anything looks bad, blame it on my rookiness, and I'm too impatient, okay? I really want to get this done. So, as you probably see from the intro, or not intro, the thumbnail, I've chosen Gemini Tay, Pearlescent Moon, Full Symmetry, and Zombie Clear as my 4 victims. That was a lie, obviously, but the 4 people I will be talking about and the creators that have inspired me. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. The first YouTuber I have decided to go with is Gemini Tay. Gemini Tay, as many people know, is a member of the Hermitcraft server. She's been on since season 8, I'm sure many of you know that, despite Mumbo Jumbo, who thought she joined season 7.
Didn't he build?
Wait, you've only been on the server since season 8?
Despite her being popular on Hermitcraft, I was introduced to her through Secret Life, the series that got me back into Minecraft. It became one of my main points of views for the live series. This has also led to me getting into her Hermitcraft seasons. As of recently, I've finally gotten around to watching all of her seasons. Even though this meant I had to sacrifice a lot of my schoolwork. Sorry, Jim. I've finished watching her season 9 and I'm now onto her season 10. Her season 9 build was so interesting to me and really inspiring. Her small builds had so much detail to them, and when looking around the world, you really had to look at them. There were so many small details to them, and it didn't look bland at all. Same could be said for her mega build. It didn't look bland, it had so many small details to it. This is something that can be very hard for big builds, especially with their walls being so big and it's just hard to decorate them, but she was able to do it. Same could be said with her interior. I hate doing interior. Always trying to figure out how and where, what room will be, and just so much work. But she was able to do it and it was just so cool. It wasn't just, you didn't walk in and be like, wow, okay. You walked in and it's like, oh, I actually have to look around this area. It was just so impressive. Something that really inspires me are her roofs. They're so interesting to me. When I first started out building again, I hated doing roofs. They're just not for me. But watching her really go with these interesting styles, they just work so well together. Just watching her do all these interesting roofs, they really inspired me and pushed me out of my comfort zone to try and do a different way besides just stairs. So just watching her videos really inspired me. I really enjoyed doing this color palette. Gem's skin's just so aesthetically pleasing to look at in of itself. And so with her white shoes and like her orange and just all those colors, I think they've worked really well together, especially because quartz seems to go with everything. So I'm really glad that I was able to choose her skin, as it was just so fun, and I don't normally use these kinds of blocks and colors, well, besides quartz, which is another thing with this challenge, is it's pushing me to use colors, like blocks that I don't normally use. When it comes to Gem, she's an inspiring creator to me. Her builds are just so amazing and beautifully made. When it comes to Gem as a content creator, I really enjoy how she makes her videos. They're so entertaining to me. And I think one of the biggest parts is that herself, she is bisexual and I am a queer creator. That can be so hard to find with so many places, especially with the Minecraft community being so filled with kind of like cis-het men. And look, I love Joel Smallish Beans. Please don't be upset by that comment. It's important for a young queer person like me to have Gemini Tay, an openly queer creator, and it's something that I'm really glad that I got to have, and I'm sure many other people, as I've seen online, are also very happy to have. Of course, I'm young myself, I'm 17, so being able to see her be out here, be herself, it can be so inspiring to me, and I'm sure so many other young queer people can relate to this whole situation. As we're doing the roof right now, it was very difficult for me to really kind of try to copy and paste it back over there to the other side. It was very painful, very painful process, but I'm very glad with how it turned out. I always wanted to use this kind of style with the whole moss and, you know, adding staircases to the other sides. I think it just really went well together. When it came to adding the orange, I was definitely nervous because, you know, orange doesn't go good with everything, but I think the green and the orange actually went really well, which is something you don't really see that much. So I'm really glad I was able to actually make it look good, because usually people use orange in like that kind of old rustic vibe, but here I was able to kind of interpret into a modern style, and I'm really glad I did. I'm now coming up to the smaller details of, you know, getting the windows in. You can't see, obviously, some parts you won't be able to see, but I'm trying to fix everything up, kind of make it look appealing and make it not look so bland. I'm very testing out everything, but glad I was able to make it look good. Of course, had to figure out how to incorporate the bisexual shoes and the colours on her shoes into the build, so I did that with the pane glass on the sides for the build for the balcony. Like I said, I'm very proud of this build. It's kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone for these kind of smaller, intricate builds, and I'm really proud of how it looked. I'm now just adding up the small touches to it, like windows, lights, you know, light it up more, make it look nice. I'm not focusing on interior with this, I'm just focusing on exterior, as, well, I don't enjoy interior as much as it comes to exterior. But like I said, I'm very proud of this build. It's something that really pushed me out of my comfort zone, kind of just trying to find those small details and where they would all look well. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I don't think I can say it enough. But Gemini Tay, as I said, an inspiration to me, and I really hope you enjoy how it all looked. My next build is Prolific Moon. Just like Gem, she was also introduced in Season 8. Prolific Moon was the first Hermitcraft member I watched all the way through, but just like Gem, I was introduced to her through the live series, and that will be the same for many of the different content creators here. Her Season 8 was so amazing to me, with her and Bowden being my favourite team up when it comes to Hermitcraft. I remember being on the plane and downloading all of her Season 8. Funnily enough, I was flying to Australia, and I remember thinking, oh my god, what if I ran into her? Upsettingly, I did not. I remember getting goosebumps at her builds while on the plane, and watching the ending of her season 8, I nearly cried. She's such a good builder and has pushed me out of my comfort zone when it comes to building. I don't like terraforming that much. It's not exactly what I enjoy to do. But I'm really glad I went and tried for it. It's something I have been wanting to learn a bit more. And I think with this build, I would have used different blocks definitely next time. Like, different colours to kind of make it look interesting. But I do later on add some moss to it just to kind of give it that interesting vibe to it. I'm very proud of it. Near the end, it looks quite good, and I hope you guys can see that because I did put a lot of effort in when it comes to the terraforming. Pearls at Moon was one of the YouTubers who really got me back into Minecraft and just building in general. I hadn't played Minecraft for a while. I got off of it. It's just something that happened with me, and watching her videos and her builds, it was just so inspiring for me to get back into it. And I don't think if it was for her, I don't think I would have gone back into it. And I'm really glad I did though, because honestly, I'm really enjoying getting back into building. I usually use very basic blocks, just wood and stone, but by watching her videos, I've become obsessed with copper, and finding myself wanting to use it more and more. When it came to this build, I focused on terraforming. I do not like terraforming. However, I wanted to draw aspects from her building style, and she seems to always be terraforming, just like her season 9, which was insane. I'm gonna be honest, looking at dirt blocks for so long was hard, so I could just see the grey in them. I had to close my eyes for a bit because it's just causing me a headache. Another thing that has inspired me when it comes to Pearl is her use of trapdoors. I find myself never really using them before, but now that I have seen her videos, I try to incorporate them into a lot of my builds for smaller details. Sometimes, something I want to add is that I know when I am up late because Pearl's at Moon always goes live at like 1 AM New Zealand time because of her streaming so late. So whenever I get the notification, Pearl's at Moon is live, I think to myself, maybe it's time for bed. I'm really happy with this build. It's definitely on the simpler side, but I think it was fun as I've been wanting to work with prismarine blocks, which was perfect for her skin's color eyes. I think the colors worked well together. They seem to always, like I said, the simpler blocks always seem to go well together. I was really happy with how it turned out. I think one of my biggest challenges was terraforming. Like I said, I don't enjoy it that much, but did seem to go kind of well. I would say I feel like I could have used more different blocks, but like I said, it's my first time really trying to terraform, and I am quite happy with it. The build itself, like I said, simple, but I like it simple, and I think the colors worked really well together. I really want to talk about Pearl's builds again, because oh my god, like I said, her season 8 was insane to me. The lighthouse build was so amazing, especially when she had to try and, how do I word this? She had to try find ways to get rid of the snow, which was really annoying for her build. But even so, it still just ended up so amazing and just so interesting. Same with her starter base. When she had to turn it around, I was just like, if that were me, I would just leave it. I would not care that much. But she was determined to spin around the whole build, and I respect that quite a lot because that is just so much effort to do. I found Pearl's content as I was going through a lot of mental health struggles, and for me, she has brought so much comfort, and honestly, when I was going into 2024, I was not looking forward to that year, and watching her content and just getting to see her interacting and having all this fun, it really pushed me to keep going in a sense. And like I said, her content brought me a lot of comfort during the times where I really needed it. And I'm really glad I got to find her content because it pushed me back into Minecraft and really wanted me to try out different building styles it really made me want to test new things. And I'm really glad I did. If it wasn't for Pearl, I don't think I would have actually gone back into Minecraft as much as I did. Yes, I would have watched the content, but I wouldn't have tried to build and tried to do all this different stuff. But I did because of her, and I'm very grateful for it. The build's coming to an end now. Just adding little bits of touch to the terraforming and the build as well. Really happy with how it turned out. It's very simple, as I said, but I think that's what really has that kind of nice vibe to it. It's simple, it's cute, and I really liked it. As I said, Pearlescent Moon is a big inspiration for me, so being able to just talk and be a little fanboy about it is really fun. So hope you enjoyed that. Thank you all, and I'll let you all have a closer look at it. The next build I'm doing is False Symmetry. This build was quite hard for me, I'm gonna be honest. You're gonna see me cut a lot of it down because I just keep changing and changing my designs. But I am quite happy with how it turns out in the end. I love False Symmetry. I've made a challenge for myself where I watch her season 2 all the way to her season 10, which I've been doing quite well at, because her season 3 has like 190 videos, and I'm on like 100 right now. I love getting to interact on her streams. I don't get to watch them as much due to time zones. Half the time I'll watch them when I happen to be finishing homework at like 3 AM. But I love when I get to comment and she'll often respond. It's very lovely getting to interact with chats, because sometimes it feels like streamers don't do that often, but she does, and it's just really fun. I did not like how it turned out here. It looked like a lighthouse, and that was not what I was going for. I was trying to go for the stripes on her shirt, and I just did not like it at all, so I just exploded it and just had to get rid of it. I am a lot happier, like I said, with the end product a lot more, but I just had to rebuild it all and hope for the best for it. I had to cut down quite a lot for this because it just kept getting longer and longer, but it's all for False Symmetry. I happened to find False because I was like, well, I want to find I want to watch one of the underrated Hermitcraft people, and I just so happened to see her interacting with Jim in her season 9, and went, hey, she looks fun, and so I started watching her season 10 when I all of a sudden thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to go to her season 2? She's one of the original hermits. And I remember last year watching all of her season 2 during class time, because for some reason I have this thing where I have to watch Hermitcraft YouTubers during class for whatever reason. And I just remember watching it and seeing all the old classic Hermitcraft and just thinking, wow, that times have changed and her builds have improved a lot. I always bring up every so often like her season 2 build and how it's all got this lore to it and how it's so cool, and I just think, even if it's old and even if, you know, people see, oh, you know, who actually likes that old stuff, and it's like, it's still really good to me, really impressive. When it came to building this, as you can tell, it's a lot bigger than my other builds that I had done. I had tried to take an inspiration from her builds that I see when I search up, and that was just a lot of castles, and so I thought, hey, I can make a castle. It did not go as planned, as I've already mentioned, like twice now, and so while building this, I was like, hey, I had no plan. I was just like, I can do this. And it was very, very frustrating. There's no interiority to this at all. But her colors are really nice and they're very fun to work with. I really like the black and the how I was able to incorporate the yellow in. I was really worried it was going to kind of look ugly with the yellow, but it actually worked out really well at the end for the roof. The stripes I incorporated with her shirt, obviously, and I am quite proud of how it's looking so far. When it came to designing the roof, I was very skeptical about it. I didn't like how it was looking, and I just kind of was a trust the process kind of design, as I was constantly fixing it up, realizing, wait, it doesn't look even, and because of that I was very worried that it would not turn out as good as it did. Of course, not finished right now, but at the end it does actually look really good, and I'm quite proud of it, because as I've mentioned, I don't like roofs, and doing this kind of roof on the main part was a lot difficult because it was so close together, and so I had to try maneuver things around and make it make sense in a way. My favorite build from False had to be her season 9. So it was so impressive. All the gradient of her build and all the small details when you walked into it, which is something that I talk about with most of the people here, because just small details are so amazing to me, because I'm not gonna say bad, but I'm definitely trying to improve on it more. And it's so inspiring walking through her season 9 build, because her gradient is just so impressive. I've tried to do gradients before, and they're quite difficult to me because it's just so much patience and having to make it look kind of natural and not all forced. And so being able to see her season 9 build was just incredible. Same could be said for her season 10. I have not caught up with it because I have been going back to her later seasons, but I think whenever I do catch up with some, the small details and are just so impressive. As this build's coming to an end, I decided to add a few more quick details at the front. I realized I probably should have added more green to this, so I did that by making a tree. And I'm gonna be honest, this is my first time actually making a custom tree. I've never done it before, and I'm really proud of it. And I'm just gonna say that because I don't normally do that kind of stuff. Normally I just quickly grow a tree and whatever, but I'm really proud of it. So yeah, no. This is her build and her inspired by her skin, and I'm really happy with it. False is a big inspiration for me, and I hope you enjoyed this. Here's a close-up. And last but certainly not least is Zombie Cleo. Zombie Cleo is one of the original Hermitcraft members joining in season 2. Though as I've mentioned before, I was introduced during Secret Life. They became my main point of view for wildlife. It's quite hard considering the fact that I also watch Pearl, Scott, and Impulse as my point of view, so the whole team was together. I've watched both season 9 and season 10 of Cleo's Hermitcraft. I really liked their season 9 build because the gradient was so impressive to me. I just love the gradients because I know it's very complex to do. I also loved the organics build with their Atlanta base. All of it was just incredible. The seahorses, yes. The seahorses were just so amazing and I loved looking at it. I also loved the King Ren lore. Season 10 is so cool as well. The fact that Cleo traveled millions of blocks in Minecraft to fight the permanent office, it was great. I enjoyed when looking on Blue Sky, I think it's called, and just seeing them being like, yep, I'm this many blocks away. When it came to this build, I wish there was more grayish green blocks in Minecraft because it definitely doesn't represent their skin as well as I'd like it to. However, I do like that I was able to add small details that I found really cute. I went for the blue and I think it does look great because it matches their shirt kind of. And so, of course, I had to go with the orange hair. I really liked the roof of this build. Like I've mentioned before, I don't like roofs, but this one was really good and I'm really happy with it. The arch, it was a bit complicated to do, but in the end it turned out really good. I think when I was looking at Zombie Cleo's builds, she had a lot of smaller details. I saw their windows and the way that they did that, and so I took inspiration from that and decided to incorporate it into my build now. Cleo uses she/they pronouns. As someone who uses he/they pronouns and is a young queer person, it's really nice to see an older queer person creating content and just having fun. I think a lot of the community needs that kind of representation, as a lot of us are young, and so seeing an older queer person is always great, and it's just oddly comforting. And I'm sure many other young queer people can relate to this. I'm always scared of repeating myself in this, I feel bad doing that, but I am really proud of this build. And Zombie Cleo is just a genuinely great content creator, and I wish there was more I could say, but of course I don't want this video getting really long. She's a big inspiration for me, and I've been really wanting to watch some of her older seasons because, I don't know, I just think older Minecraft is really fun. But the build is coming to an end, still adding those smaller details, like the vines, to kind of make it look a bit abandoned in a sense. But I'm really glad and I'm really happy with it. So it's coming to an end now, and I'll show you all a close-up right about now. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm very happy with the builds. I don't normally show off my building skills, of course I'm focused on survival, but I would like to do more of these kind of relaxing videos where I just show you all my buildings, as I'm very happy with them. I've been very busy with school. I've finally gone on to my school holidays now, but I am trying to get back into recording. Been a month, sorry about that, but I am trying to get better, stay more motivated, but also look after myself. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a lovely evening, day, night, whatever. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye!